So I'm going to do my makeup, chat shit, and talk to you all about the archetypes of motherhood and why they are fucked up and destroying us. Stay tuned because it's coming. The riff is coming. Archetypes, motherhood, sorting them out, understanding them, you know, gentle parenting. I think you'll notice that people who like to use those terms, not just the people who like to use those terms, but like the people who assign those terms to themselves are essentially trying to learn something, okay? And like the gentle parenting kind of space, I consider myself a super gentle parent. I do not shout, I do not smack. I do shout sometimes and get mad, but like I genuinely don't. I don't really tell my kids off very much. I don't really do any of I don't do timeout. I don't do any of those things, but I still wouldn't assign myself as a gentle parent because I believe that most people who are assigning themselves those labels or who are saying that they are gentle parents are really just trying to reparent themselves through their own childhood trauma shit. They really are. And if you really watch them, that's what they're trying to be like, well, I feel like I wasn't parented great. And so I'm going to heal that through this. That's not really how life works. Like, my job isn't to heal my parenting lineage. My job is to just constantly step up as the best version of myself. And I had a very average childhood, not abundant. I don't even believe that my childhood unpacking on YouTube is got any value, but these people are using it as a source of value. And I'll tell you why. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, like the gentle parenting thing, like it's not just about gentle parenting. It's like, are you a routine parent? Are you a bedtime parent? Are you like all of these types of parents? And do you know what? Whatever season you're in, you'll notice that like the people who are assigned to like the gentle parenting kind of status are quite often in the season like of having lots of young children, or they're sometimes homeschoolers, or you'll notice there's a correlation of the types of people. They'll often baby wear and things like that. The other thing to remember is that a lot of this comes down to marketing. Like, you're just a search engine optimization. The more you search for something on any of those platforms, the more it comes back to you, the more you see it, the more you affirm that it's right. If you're super into science, I was saying to my husband the other day, I was like, I know that in like 120 years' time, there will be like great grandkids who are like, what? They put no fucking blankets on the babies? So they slept in a doona and they put no blankets on the baby because a couple of people thought that maybe it might decrease the risk of children dying just naturally in their sleep. Like, it doesn't. I'm not opposed to the SIDS advice, but it's not science. It's statistics. Some babies die from SIDS when they have blankets on them, but most babies who have blankets on them stay alive. And babies who don't have blankets on them are going to be cold all night and wake up all night and kill thy mother. You get my sarcasm, right? Nobody wants to be part of that club of having a baby that could pass away, but we also cannot prevent every single part of life. And we have to kind of know deeply inside that we are like an intuitive animal who's pushed aside their instinct at time to follow specific philosophies. And I don't actually think that's a bad thing. I've lost a fingernail and it's making me mad. It's so weird because the nail lady was like talking about people like replacing their fingernails and then I lost one. So random. I'm trying to make this quick. So whatever you're in right now, you have assigned yourself a role and you fulfill that role. The important thing is that you shift those roles and those identities over and over again and don't stay them. Because have you ever met a mother who assigns herself as like a breastfeeding mum and she kind of almost seems like that well after she's weaned her babies? Or a mum who's a routine mum who keeps it going for such a long time and you're like, your kids are teenagers. Why are they still going to bed at 7? You're like, it doesn't make sense. It's because she's assigned herself an identity and she's held so deeply onto that identity because it worked for that time. And so if you assign with being a gentle parent right now, love you. I think it's a lovely identity to hold, but it's not your identity. It's just like a role you're fulfilling at this moment. If you have one child and you're assigning yourself as a gentle parent, that might feel great. But when you have 6 kids, that might not feel like the vibe anymore. And if you don't want to have 6 kids, like, boo to you, good to you, love you. I should have done my eyebrows earlier. And I really can't take long on this because I've left my kids watching TV for too long. Because at the moment, I have like no childcare. So the way I get my work done is my kids watch TV. 10 years ago, I would have died at the thought of that because I worked when my kids slept. And I was a routine mum and everything worked really well because I had 3 kids super young and it just flowed super well that way. And so if you're feeling like, what the fuck am I, mum? That's okay too, because you're just not in a season of identifying yourself as something. You might have the full-time work mum. You might have the non-working mum. You've got the like market mum. We all know that. You've all been to the markets, right? The mum who like buys the organic strawberries mum. These are all just seasons of life. Whoa, you went a bit far there, babe. My eyebrow, I mean. They're seasons. And mothering is seasonal. And I don't believe it ever ends. When people were like, I saw someone, it's a hard slog, but you know, once they're 18 and gone, it's over. No, I don't believe my mothering days will ever end. You're always their mother. No matter where they are in the world, what they're doing, any of those things, you're their mother. And so you might be in the season of no longer having children at home, but you still think about them, you still worry about them, you message them, you would like to know about their life, that kind of stuff. I haven't been in that season yet, so, you know. This eyebrow pencil, one size, is only worth flattening my brows down like this. It is just not worth anything. Waste of money. So, it's really not that complicated. It's truthfully not. Truthfully. It is... Okay, I homeschool my kids, but I really do not assign myself the homeschooling label. I don't even really talk about it very much. I think it's so irrelevant to what I am and what I do. And everyone's like, what? You homeschool 4 kids? You do this, you do that? What? I just, like, so boring. Maybe there'll be a time. There was a time where I was like, look, I'm this hippie homeschool mom and I do craft. It's not anymore. And so if you know you've been stuck in a season too long, then you need to give yourself a new name. Like, what was my podcast name? Sex Bomb Goddess Mama. That's the vibe. I was like, I want Louisiana hair. So I'm just going to keep pushing it up until my husband takes me to the deep south and I get a southern accent because that's sexy as fucking hell, isn't it? The shit that I talk about, imagine living with me. Mega sex bomb goddess mama. That, you know, that's the season I'm in and that's where I'm going. Even though I have little kids, that's where I want to go. And so, enough waffling. I need to sharpen this super bad. Whatever season you're in, know that it's okay to be in the season and that the season is perfect and lovely. And, you know, if you're building a business, like I know I meet a lot of mums who start businesses up. Like, fuck making your kids geniuses right now. Go make some fucking cash. I'm not joking. Like, spend a year diving in deep and fucking hard and like slamming that shit out, build that business, make the money, and then ride the waves and make your kids geniuses later in life. Like, just if you're trying to start up a business and you're like trying to change the wealth patterns in your generational family and things like that, like how quickly your kid can read or how well toilet trained they are, like who fucking cares? Like, do the work. Your kids will come along for the ride and they really fucking like the ride. Like, I've been here and that's what I have done. And my kids have loved the ride. And then, I'll turn them into geniuses later. They're already kind of smart. All will be fine. Like, dig your heels deep into the shit that you want to be in right now. A lot of women want to like start businesses and earn cash and do things like that. This wasn't even meant to be like about this. But I'm like, if you want to make some fucking money, go out and hustle and do it. Not in a 9-to-5. Because I believe that's kind of destroying the mother's essence. But like in shit that you love and are passionate about. Like, I love creating content. It's my favorite thing. It makes my heart sing. But I've got spag sauce cooking in the oven down there. And I've got kids on devices all over the place. And they know that this is just the season we're in right now. And eventually I'm going to make them sit down and write out the encyclopedias off by heart. Maybe in Louisiana. It's a season. Embrace the season. Like, if you want to get fit and you want to be fit mama, like put the fucking running shoes on, put a cool tank on and off you go. Like, run like the wind. Just go and feel it. Do it with no music, no like just your own life song. Build your own life from the season you're in and the song you want to sing right now. Because we can build out all these archetypes, but all they're doing is fucking helping SEO and Facebook ads. The hashtags you put in your Instagram posts are really just for Google and Facebook. They are not for attracting the best mothers or the people you're looking for. That's in your life building.